people like make their bangs look so perfect. It is a struggle for me every time. I got a facial yesterday and we did a bunch of extractions right here. When I went in and she put like the microscope with the light over my face, her reaction was like, your skin is so bad. I knew it was bad, but I didn't think it was that bad. And I don't get facials often. The last facial I got was 4 years ago. That was the last real facial I had with extractions. And I will say, I thought my skin was in a worse condition then, and I had way less extractions, and this time I had so much just around here. I was laying on the bed for an hour and 45 minutes. I was getting so bored and so restless, and I texted my friend after who gets facials regularly, and I was like, is she just saying that so I will come back? Because it's working. She told me I should come back in a week, and I wasn't actually planning on going so soon after. I was thinking maybe like a month or so in between. Facials are expensive. I wanted to do a sit down chatty video because I know it's been a while since I've done one, and I thought it'd be nice to recap the year and like catch up on what I've been up to, I guess. I don't know. If anyone cares. I just had my end of year review with my manager the other day, and I was telling her how the first half of this year was so different from the second half. I got COVID back in January, and then shortly after I got COVID and healed, everything started picking back up. I was invited to a lot of like brand events. It was like go, go, go nonstop. I felt like I was working a lot. Maybe that was even just the first quarter actually. And then things kind of stopped or slowed down for me really quickly. I guess that's kind of around the same time I stopped vlogging. There are a number of reasons, I guess, why I stopped vlogging. I think things just got very routine and boring. I didn't want to be posting like the same types of video all the time. I wasn't really doing that much. There are just like so many social media platforms now that it gets a little overwhelming. I think I was overwhelmed. I was probably burnt out from that like really busy first part of the year. The social media content creation landscape was just changing so fast, and I did feel the need to like kind of catch up or something and test different things and see what I liked. So, you know, I was posting on TikTok for a little bit. I was doing more Instagram reels. I wasn't really sure what I was doing on YouTube, and I felt like so stagnant on all of my platforms. I don't talk about numbers that often because I don't like thinking about numbers. It's not really why I got into content creation. I think I just wanted to be creative and share parts of my life, and as long as I was able to do that and live off of that, I was already so grateful. Now though, I have reached a certain point where I would like to focus on it a little bit more, but still be authentic to who I am. I think that's like really important to me. I don't want to feel the pressure to hop on a trend just to like get numbers, I guess, if that makes sense. This is how I do my bronzer when I'm lazy. I just take a big brush and just sweep it all over. Is this lighting weird? Is it too like shadowy on this side? Here, let me move. This is way nicer. I truly just want to be able to do it all. That would be so nice if I could just learn how to balance everything out. I don't know if I'll ever get there. I just wanted to be able to go out and not think about carrying my camera and getting vlog footage and just being in the moment and not getting too wrapped up into everything. And because I haven't vlogged in a while, I'm definitely out of practice because I haven't really shot in public. It's a little bit harder for me to do it now. Like I get really shy in front of the camera, which, okay, it's probably a normal thing, even around friends who help me take photos and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. But I recognize that, and I want to get a lot better with that because who cares? Damn, this lighting is way better. I'm sorry about... I think when I wasn't doing lifestyle content so much and I was just doing makeup, it was so much easier to have that separation, I guess that work-life balance. It was like a switch, like, okay, I'm gonna do a makeup look now, I can turn on, this is what my work is. But now that I'm sharing more parts of my life, it's just very blended, and I do enjoy it. It's just when I put that extra pressure on myself, like I know it's self-inflicted, that's when it gets a little tough. So what was I up to in the last 6 months since I really vlogged? Cody started getting these coughs, and it was really weird. He would like cough several times, and then at the end of his cough, it sounded like he was gonna throw something up, like he was like gagging or like choking on something, trying to get something out, but like nothing would come out. So we went to the vet and they suggested that he get a echocardiogram. When the vet looks inside his heart, and then it turned out that he has a heart disease. I think it causes swelling in the heart, and like one of the heart valves is swelling and it's leaking fluid into his lungs. So he was put on medication. The coughing still happened really frequently. Went back for a chest x-ray and for another echocardiogram, and then he got put on another medication. That medication was a diuretic, so he was like peeing a lot. He had accidents in the home. Took him back for another checkup, and they added 2 more medications on top of that. So now he's on like 4 different medications twice a day. It's definitely like, it was very hard for me. Cody's old. He's like 13 and a half. He's actually still so sprightly and so lively, and the medication has made him actually even more so, which is expected according to the vet. But it was just really hard seeing how the medication affected his body and his like pee tolerance, because he was having such a hard time holding in his pee. And there were mornings where he would wake me up at like 4 or 5 in the morning having to go outside. I'm realizing now that was really hard because it was like a transition period and just so unexpected. I mean, now I just like take him out like right before I go to bed so that he has like an empty bladder and won't wake up really early in the morning, like, you know, having to go outside. There was one time I was carrying him to the elevator and he actually peed on me, like on my side. It was so funny. I didn't know he was peeing, but I was like, oh, it feels really warm. And I just thought it was like maybe his like stomach was touching my stomach. But no, it was pee. It was straight up pee. So I, you know, figured that out. Just had to make a couple lifestyle changes for Cody. But now he's having really, it's not that bad. It really isn't that bad, but he's having like separation anxiety. Cody's a howler. He's always kind of been a howler. I thought it had stopped, but I've noticed in the last couple of months, shortly after I leave, he just howls. And it doesn't last very long, maybe like 15 to 20 seconds, and then he's done over it for the rest of the day. But it is so loud. It sounds like he's dying. It sounds like he's in pain. It's actually really confusing because, yeah, sometimes it is shortly after I leave, within a few minutes. Other times it's like 2 to 3 hours of me being gone and I catch him on the cameras howling. At first I wasn't sure that it was separation anxiety, but a lot of you told me on Instagram that that's what it is for him. And so I've just been trying to do everything to get him to like feel at ease. I would give him treats before I leave so that, you know, it keeps him preoccupied. But then like after he's done with the treat, he just like will howl. Like he'll realize like, oh, she's like not here. I've gotten him snuffle mats to keep him entertained. It's not enough. I let him go on the couch. I play music for him. I got him a thunder shirt and he's still howling. I did run into one of my neighbors and I apologized to him. I was like, hey, I'm really sorry if you've been hearing my dog howling. Like, I don't really know how long it's been happening. And he was like, oh, your dog's been howling? Like, I haven't really heard anything. And he genuinely looked so surprised. He has a dog too. And he was like, you know, I'm sorry if my dog's been barking. And I was like, no, that's been totally fine. He was so nice about it. He made me feel so at ease. Moment of silence while I figure out how I want to line this eye. Okay, let me do this on the other eye really quickly. Okay, we can move on to the next step. So yeah, if anyone has any suggestions on how I can help Cody, like please let me know. It's just really hard because it doesn't seem like the behavior is consistent, so I don't know what really triggers it. Honestly, this was the first time where I thought it would be really nice to have someone here, to have someone, because doing things alone isn't really that bad, but like going through things alone is really hard. The thing that really triggered this was when my bathroom ceiling was leaking. If you followed me through the whole thing, it was just really frustrating, and like I've had a lot of frustrations with the management of this building and it was just all adding up. I just like broke down. I was like, going through this alone sucks. Like it would be really nice to just have someone to share this with and like not have to feel so alone. I know I have my friends and family, but it's just somehow not the same. I don't know, is that asking for too much in another person? Maybe. Oops. I get that I can deal with it alone. Like, I get that I can do things by myself, but it would be nice to not have to. It would be nice for like someone to be around enough to understand like how hard it is sometimes. I know I don't talk about Cody a lot. Like, even people who I know in real life are like, oh my god, I forgot that you have a dog. And I thought about it, and I think it's because like my affection for him is just so personal that it's hard to share or capture those moments. This is so risky, right? What if I cut my own lashes? But trust me, my real lashes are nowhere near this long. I started taking pole classes. Like, I found a hobby. It was something that I wanted to do for a while, but it took me so long to get started. Oh my god, I made a heart. I wasn't even intending to. Pole is honestly so fun for me. It ended up being something that I really liked, that I caught on to pretty quickly. I'm not flexible at all. That's the one thing that I'm trying to work on. And I've been sharing a lot of like my progress videos. It's funny because I forget that like there's still a stigma sometimes around pole, and I was just like posting it without even thinking about it. To me, I was just doing it for fitness. Like, it really is just a great workout, like all over body workout and like your core. Doing pole is really empowering, and everyone there is so nice, and it just makes you feel more confident in your own body. Women of all shapes and sizes go to pole. I love it. I highly recommend anyone who wants to try it to try it. I'm really loving how this look is turning out. It looks really cute. Dang, maybe I should like go out somewhere tonight. You know, I went to Korea last month to visit Hannah, and that trip was so much fun. The last time I went to Korea was in a really big friend group, and it's really hard traveling in a friend group. That big Asia trip was kind of like the beginning of the end of a lot of things. It was very stressful at times. There were times where I felt frustrated with other people, and other people felt frustrated with me. So when we came back, it kind of just felt like everything like imploded. But it was such a turning point for me because I realized I was seeking external validation from my friends. I was getting super dependent on my friends. I was losing my independence and my sense of self. That trip was definitely the catalyst for a lot of things, but I think in the end they were all for the better. So traveling to Korea this time brought back a lot of those memories, but I had so much fun this trip, and I'm like so grateful to Hannah and Jimmy for letting me stay with them and like showing me around. They had a lot of friends come through, so I really appreciated that. Oh, they're such good people. And everyone that I met through them were so kind. I loved it. It was like the perfect trip. Except when I came back, the last day I was there, actually, I got like so many mosquito bites, and I do not react well to mosquito bites. So I was suffering when I went back. Like, my face, I had like 5-6 bites on this side of my face and like down my arm. Like, they're still itchy a little bit. Like, they were huge. So it was a perfect trip, aside from when I left. Like, oh my, I didn't even know Korea had mosquitoes like that. It was like cold. I was suffering. Like, I slept for like 2 days. My face was hot. Those mosquito bites like took me out. I actually stayed with my family for a week because it was Thanksgiving, and it was a great time being home with family and seeing them again. But when I came back to LA, I was so glad to be back because I just needed my own space. Like, I hadn't slept in my own bed for like 2.5 weeks, and it made me realize like I am a really big introvert, even more so than I had thought, because when I came back I was like, I actually don't want to do anything or see anyone for like for a little bit. You know, I think the holidays might have something to do with it. I'm good just like chilling at home for a little bit and like getting my routine back in order. I'm going to curl my bangs. Oh, look how long my hair is now. It's grown about, you know, like 2 or 3 inches. I can't wait to have long hair again. So yeah, I also changed my hair a little bit, got it cut differently. I'm trying to learn how to style it differently. I also got some highlights, so that's fun. I am also still in therapy. I have just been working on myself, you know, and I have learned a lot, for better or worse. I think in therapy you learn a lot about like setting boundaries. I don't know if you're like tired of hearing that, but I have been putting that more into practice this year. I think for this past couple of years, I've been trying to like branch out and meet new people and make new friends. And when you do that, you never know what kind of people you're going to meet. And you know, there are a few people that I had to set very firm boundaries with. You know, some of them I feel bad for the way that I did it, but not bad for needing to do so, if that makes sense. And I think like part of being in therapy and trying to learn that like I'm going to make mistakes along the way, and I feel like part of learning that is like doing it the wrong way so you know how to better do it in the future. I've had a lot of friendship trauma, and it's come up a lot this year because certain people remind me of other people, or like certain situations will remind me of a past situation, and I've been talking about it in therapy and like how it's affected me, and like I've never really talked about it on my channel like in depth, but it is a part of my story, and it is a part of how I like approach things and situations and people, and like I just want to be able to like own that part of my story without like hurting anyone. But don't get me wrong, like I've met a lot of like really great people this year too. Like I know a couple are for lifers, even if we're not super close. Like I like really value their friendship, and I'm so grateful for that. But I think like I am much more reserved now when I like approach new things, and things that didn't used to overwhelm me or make me anxious now. I've felt like I've been in this very like protective, defensive mode for a little bit, just because I don't want to end up like in a bad situation again. I don't want to get mixed up in situations or people who don't have the best intentions. I think also just being in the influencer space, it's very easy to get caught up. I used to love going to events and like meeting new people and being social, but now it's like a little more, it takes a little bit more out of me, and I get overwhelmed. But anyway, this is the final makeup look. Thanks for catching up with me. I wish I had more like exciting news, but like this year has been an okay year. Like it wasn't bad, wasn't great. I think it was definitely like a transitional year. Like let's figure shit out before we move on to the next thing. So yeah, I'm really excited for next year and what that has to bring. I'm going to 4 weddings next year, you guys. My best friend is getting married and I'm her maid of honor. I can't wait. Like that, actually that's exciting news. I'm so excited for her to get married. She's marrying her like high school sweetheart, and like, I can't wait. I can't wait. I don't even know how to end this video right now.